Let's do it now. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the MCT Show number 9. That's, as usual, a pleasure to be with you on this Friday afternoon. and today I have the great pleasure to host the show with our special guest, Kathi from Vienna, Austria. I think a lot of you know Kathi already because she's becoming more known in the MovNat community. Kathi is a level 3 instructor, trainer, and she's also becoming part of the instructor team. And Kathi is also a MovNat online coaching coach, I would say. So she's doing a lot of things for MovNat and in Austria. And I know her because you could assist me on a couple of workshops. We had a good time in London, for example. So that's good to see you again. I know a lot of your story, but we'll share your story with the crowd. So welcome, Kathi.
Welcome, Sharon. It's a pleasure being here.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time. So we'll spend, let's say, 1 hour, I think, more or less together. We have a couple of participants, so thank you to the others for joining live. You know that at any time for the participants, you can use the chat and post any questions you have for Kathi. Okay, so that's your opportunity. You have a level 3 trainer available for you to answer questions, and so that will be a good opportunity to use it. Okay. All right. So Kathi, I made a short introduction of yourself, but would be also good to know, this is how we start the MCT show usually, is to tell us about your background and how did you have this passion for movement, for strength and conditioning, agility, natural movement. But before that, feel free to tell any story you think is relevant for the audience. All right? Would be good to know you a bit better.
Yeah, thank you. I think I should start with a general introduction. The stories might come up later. So basically, my movement journey started when I was 6. When I started school, my parents put me in a judo class. And martial arts, so Japanese martial arts, they followed me through at least 20 years of my life. So I practiced quite a lot of Japanese martial arts. And once I grew up, I noticed that practicing martial arts is quite fun, but my body didn't feel like it can tolerate it any longer, just doing martial arts, because it started to get aches and everything, even though I just did it for hobby-wise, so not professionally or anything like that. And what I did then in the middle of 25 around, I looked for something to get myself more fit. And I got into CrossFit actually, which I did for 3 years, and it was a very beneficial experience because I got into weightlifting there. I have never touched a weight before then, and then I started doing weightlifting, so all my deadlifts, clean, snatch, whatever I got from this. And in the end of the 3 years, I started to do less CrossFit and got more into general strength workouts, doing more on the rings. I attended some Sporthalle workshops. I got into handstands, so I had more general movement background. And I also started parkour and free running with 28, I think, which was quite late, but it was I don't give a shit, I just do it. We were supposed to swear, I think, but
no, we will beep everything after that.
Right. Feeling much better. And yeah, then I actually studied biotechnology, which was around the same time I did CrossFit. And I worked in this field for 5 years. So I was in the lab doing science stuff and asking questions the whole day, like, why is it working? Why is it not working? How is this working actually? So it was a really, really an interesting experience. And after the 5 years, I hit sort of a break where I noticed I had to refigure out what I wanted to do actually with my life. And since I taught judo for over 15 years already, I taught some CrossFit classes as well. I had a personal trainer education course already because I just thought, okay, just for fun, getting some teaching experience and getting some knowledge about teaching or more knowledge. Then I thought maybe I'll try it as a trainer, and started to really go into more education courses. In Austria, we have like this official education course, which roughly takes 3 years in total if you do every step of it, which I just finished last year actually. So I'm now like a official trainer for athletic fitness and coordination. And the same time around, so I started with doing some education courses for parkour and free running. And I had a friend from Parkour, Lolo. So you know Lolo, and
yes,
suppose knows Lolo. He's a really, really great guy, great mover. And I attended one of his classes actually, and we just talked. And he was like, and I was like telling him, yeah, I want to try as a trainer, or want to earn money as a trainer now. And he said, I might know something which might be interesting for you. And this was actually like the 3 months before Sporthalle Wien was supposed to be open. And he was already on the team there. And he was like, come along, might be interesting for you. And I'm up to this day, I'm eternally grateful that he took me there. Because I mean, you know, Sporthalle Wien, it was really great. I came there, get to know the people there, and immediately, I think it was 2 weeks before the official trainer education from Bern, where I did level 1 and 2 with the whole coach Sporthalle team.
Which year was that?
2016.
Okay.
So for me, it was really like a bit of a, okay, in 2 weeks you do MovNat level 1 and level 2. And I was like, okay, let's see what MovNat is all about. But for me, it was really like, due to my parkour background, due to weightlifting background, due to martial arts background, I just looked through the things and I was like, should be okay. And just, I think the only thing was a pop-up where I was like, what is this? And this I practiced, I think, a couple of times before. And then we had this great education course, and it was really like, okay, yeah, that's exactly what I want to do actually. And yeah, since then, since 2016, I'm coaching at least like 10 to 15 classes a week in Sporthalle Wien. We have a mixture, so as was already briefly or previously discussed, we have MovNat. But as MovNat is not so well known, it's really hard to get people into the movement classes. So we also have like strength, mobility, conditioning classes, and some yoga and boxing as well, which I don't teach, but I teach all the rest of it. And yeah, I coached personal training, group classes, and last year with level 3, first time in Europe in July. For this one, I prepared more because when I noticed, okay, level 3 is coming up, then we were thinking, okay, we will be attending level 3. And I was like, hey, come on, I want to do it. And Tom really supported me there. So he's the boss of Sporthalle Wien. Really great guy, and also like, come on, you're our movement expert, go for it. And then in July, we had this amazing experience at Hohe where I finished the level 3, and then Bernd actually was so nice to suggest, hey, how about Kathi doing some women-only events, or maybe coaching events for MovNat as well. And this was the whole process where it started, that we said, okay, where I was able then to assist you in London and Bernd as well in Belgium. And these were really, really great experiences, and yeah, that's how it all started actually.
Good. Thank you for this good summary. That's very nice. So since a very young age, you were into movement, martial arts, and you developed by just following, feeling what you wanted to do. And on the way, you met great people, as I can see. For those who don't know Sporthalle, because maybe they have missed the episode with Zong, can you present us a bit Sporthalle, what it is, and what it represents for MovNat in Europe?
Sure. So basically, I think Sporthalle is it's a MovNat certified facility in Vienna, so the heart of Austria. It's a huge space with all this MovNat equipment. We have the cue boxes and everything. And Sporthalle is about healthy movement of mainly grown-ups. We also have kids classes for mainly grown-ups. And so we figured MovNat is the greatest foundation for everything. So also my personal opinion is when you train MovNat and you have a strong foundation in MovNat, it's most likely you can build up on it in every sport or anything. Because sports and everything is always very specialized and you might get disbalances and everything. But I think if you would practice MovNat through everything and have a strong basis there, you can do a lot more. And this is basically the mindset of Sporthalle Wien. So we want to educate people to lead a healthy, happy life and to move better and be stronger and be more capable, same as the MovNat principles are actually. What we also have at Sporthalle is we have, it's called medical training. So it's basically the step between people who got injured, they go to physiotherapy, at least in Austria it's like that. And usually when they finish physiotherapy, they are not as fit yet to be attending normal classes again, because they have a certain build-up, but it's not completely finished to be really like, I'm good to go again. So the medical training is sort of the transition. There's really like maximum 3 people to 1 coach. And they really take care of the individual problems or injuries, or if people like didn't do any sports for a couple of years, they also come to start a medical and train up a little bit. And once they're good to go, they come downstairs. So we have like downstairs is the huge space with all the equipment, and the medical training is upstairs, so they can look and watch the other people running around, jumping around. And then they can attend the group classes, but they already get like they get a bit teased, like seeing the people down there running around, and hopefully this helps them to transition downstairs and then move with their whole group again.
They get inspiration, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, I remember this little studio on the first floor when we were actually doing some theory over there for combatives. We are using the screen, and so for those who don't know, this facility, that's an amazing facility, really like cutting edge, really great equipment. I mean, they invested in the cube equipment that we promote for a few years now. So many cubes, so many steel bars, wooden beams, everything is modular. So you can also do your boxing classes and strength and conditioning, and then getting back to the cubes and everything. So that's amazing. And even the floor, every piece of equipment is so like, wow, it's top-notch equipment. The only thing I was feeling was it was a bit moisty. I remember the air during summer was very tough. I don't know if it's better now.
Yes, in summer, I mean, in Austria we don't have this policy of doing air conditioning the whole time, or at least we usually don't have air conditioning so much. And sometimes it can be a bit moist because this room upstairs is actually for, as I said, 3 people with 1 trainer, and we were, I think, 12 sitting down there. So it can be a bit moisture, but usually if the windows are open and we have this ventilation system, it's okay. So it's really, what I really like about this is really, really bright, because we have the ceiling windows where the sun is shining through, and it's really, the whole concept is really bright and open, and makes up for being creative and moving around. Because as you said, with the queue system, it's so great, because even we have this 3 meter high box, and I also can push it around on my own actually, because it's a really good system. So you don't need to be like 3 people in order to move around the whole equipment.
It's also part of a historical building, right? It's part of a building that is protected, if I remember well, like something that has very good value in Vienna.
Yeah, certain buildings are protected. The history about the building itself I'm not so familiar with. I just know it used to be a gym, so sometimes people come in and ask if they can play soccer in there, or doing some other sports they used to do in there. And said, you can do movement here, or you can do strength here, but soccer maybe not so much, as we also have like mirrors and some screens somewhere, and yeah. But it's from the concept wise and architecture, it's really, really nice. And also it was refurbished because it was really, really old, and they renewed everything prior to the open. So it's a really, really nice studio. So if you have time, come and look at it and move around in it. It's really, really great.
Yeah, I wanted to emphasize on that. So if any MCTs, we have a few MCTs outside of Europe. I understand it will be tough for people to just travel, especially now. But if you are in Vienna, definitely come check through Sporthalle. It's not only because you guys have a great facility, like I told Zong last time. You have actually with Lolo, Zong, and you are hosting a gym with 3 level 3 trainers from MovNat, which is unknown, in the world to have 3 level 3 trainers. And not only that, with Martin behind it, all the projects are really, towards natural movement, and they believe you guys believe in the project. Can you tell us a few things that you have in mind, like in terms of projects that Sporthalle wants to do with MovNat, like hosting, for example, aquatics or this kind of stuff?
Yeah, so this year, actually, we would have been able to host every MovNat event that's out there. And it's really unfortunate with COVID that we couldn't manage, because actually we already had level 1 and level 2 in March, briefly before the shutdown. Then we were planning for combatives and aquatics again. We have this 50 plus in July with Bernd. There's a women only scheduled in September. So we would have been able to have really every certification out there from MovNat within 1 year. And this is actually a basic plan from us to really level 3 in July. Sorry, I forgot about that almost. So this is really what we're aiming for, to have all certifications every year at Sporthalle Wien. So as a center of Europe, it's quite nice I think easy to travel there, and in Vienna, public transport and everything, it's really, really great to get around as well. And we also want to support MCT, so we already mentioned during some certifications where we attended. So in case any MCTs are in Vienna or around, just text us, write us an email, and you can practice at Sporthalle Wien for a week and join our classes, and we're happy to help. We have not only 3 level 3 trainers, but we also have level 2s and level 1s, so we have a couple of trainers in Vienna. In March, actually, another trainer of us did a level 1, so it's really, really good.
Good.
And yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think in 2019, you guys hosted everything except aquatics, because we did combatives also. I was part of the combatives workshop in October when Vic came. So I actually, for me, Vienna is a great location because I only have to drive. This is the only location I don't have to fly to. So I was driving from Budapest to Vienna, and we spent 3 days over there for combatives. But so last year was already level 1, level 2, plus level 3, and combatives. So this year, we'll see about the aquatics. I really wanted to also assist Vic for that aquatics plus combatives. I think it was back to back.
Yeah, I really wanted to attend, so but now.
Yes, because you did combatives.
Yeah. So I'm just missing aquatics actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So for some MCTs or general public that listens to this show, to be able to call the master trainer, MovNat master trainer, you need to be a level 3 trainer plus having the certification in combatives and aquatics. And that was also the one that was missing for me for a few years, because it's kind of hard from a logistics standpoint to organize aquatics. And personally, I had the chance to do it in New Mexico, in Tulum 2 years ago. And yeah, that's a great course. I would like to do it in the pool as well, because this is always different from doing in open water. I think both are relevant. The same way you have your parkour base, and having MovNat is more nature-like. Parkour is more focused on urban environment. So, but we are all about adaptation, right? So it's always good to be curious and interested in other specificities. So special events, yeah, we'll get back to that, because I know that you want to talk about, you can talk about special events, 50 plus, women only. This is important, and I think at the end of the interview we can come back to this topic, especially talking about women. And we had a little topic, a hot topic this week that we can touch base on also. I would be interested to know your opinion. But tell me before that about the current situation. So last time I was asking Zong about how do you cope with this COVID-19 situation, and he was telling us how he switched from real training to online training. So now we are 2 months after this interview almost. How did it go, and how is it for you personally to switch from online to from real to online? And then, but you told me today that you came back in the gym. So tell us about this whole journey, this strange adventure.
Yeah, so I think adaptation is the word of the year, 2020. Because it was really like every week it was different. Every week you had to check what are the infection rates, what is the government saying, what is allowed, what is forbidden. So every week it was really like gathering information, and on the same time aiming to provide some good classes for our people, for our members, so they keep moving, and for everybody out there to keep moving. So basically, I think the lockdown in Austria was in the middle of March, I think around the 17th or something. And a colleague of mine, she tried out Zoom, I think, before, and she was really like, okay, Zoom is a really great app, just try it. And I gave it a go with all my, I just sent out an email to my personal clients and everybody. And she said, hey, I want to do a free Zoom class just to see how this works and how this feels, because it's very unfamiliar territory. I actually tried before Google Hangouts with my boyfriend to see if I can coach him through, but this was sort of not working for me because it was like acoustic was bad. And so not personally on Google Hangouts, but it was like sort of, it didn't work for me. And then with Zoom, I had, I think, 8 people attending, and it was like, it's not familiar, but it's okay. So then I just said to Song, okay, I can do some Sporthalle Wien classes as well. And the next week we already started, I think, with 10 classes or something. So every day I did 2. And I think Monday to Wednesday was really, really tough because it's so unfamiliar, and it's, again, you have to adapt. You have to watch these tiny windows and really see, okay, if somebody is doing something they're not supposed to do, or if somebody struggles, that you can still help. But this I liked actually because we also did, like Song and Julia, they started to do YouTube videos as well. But for me personally, it was much nicer because I was able to interact with the people. And this is for me always really, really important, to be able to interact and to see what the people are actually doing. And then people started to really, I mean, they were really appreciating that we were offering this, because they were sitting at home, everybody was confused, everybody was like maybe a bit unsure, anxious, and this was an opportunity, because I think this first couple of Zoom classes, people were like, hi people, nice, I remember you, and they were really, really happy to see familiar faces and to be able to chat for a couple of minutes and see, okay, how are you doing? Because people were like always in their apartment with in case they had some people in their apartment as well. And so it was really nice to be able to interact with people. And we proceeded this until the middle of May, so until 2 weeks ago. There was a new regulation, so we were allowed again to meet outdoors. You were allowed to meet within for 10 people maximum when you kept the distance. So we said, okay, should be good to go to do outdoor training. So most gyms in Vienna, you saw popping up, everybody outdoor training. So we did actually a mixture, said, okay, we keep the Zoom classes. We had, I think every week we reevaluated our schedule to see which classes are filling up, which classes are not so well taken. And we did different, again, our different specialized classes. So we did MovNat we did mobility, and we did a strength conditioning class. And everything at home with basically things you have at home. So from toilet paper, because this was really a hype in the beginning of the lockdown. Everybody was gathering toilet paper, and you couldn't get any anymore because people were like 10 packages of toilet paper. I don't know why, but yeah. And yeah, we figured it out. And I think 3 weeks in, I got a really nice feedback from a client of mine. She said, Kathi, I think I'm fitter now than I was prior to COVID, because she was actually able to attend more classes online than she was in real life or during her normal daily life. And she said, okay, she's really noticing strength, mobility, everything's sort of coming together and building up. So this was a really advantage, because people, I mean, you also notice people who usually come like once a week. I saw more often. Unfortunately, some people, what I really get, one person was saying, hey, I joined Sporthalle because I wanted to get away from the screen, so there was no way I'm joining an online class. But he was the first who came to the auto training again and told me that, and was like, I completely get that. So it was a mixture. Most people were really, really happy to be able to do something, but some people who are, he was one of the first people who was actually already quite fit and quite sportive. So he said, okay, I went running and did some other stuff, which is also fine. And yeah, so 2 weeks ago we started with auto training again. It's a great mix. So we do some auto training, some online training, and officially with 29th. So it's today, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Fitness studios are allowed to open again in Austria, but unfortunately we don't know exactly how. So they're sometimes a bit late with regulations and under which conditions actually what is going on. But we already have a timetable set for next week, and we figured out a system how we don't have too many people in Sporthalle at the same time. So usually we have 3 classes in the morning, and now we did like 1 class is physical in the Sporthalle, then the next class is either outdoors or online. And the 3rd class is in the Sporthalle again, so people can get out from the 1st class and just come 1 hour later for the 3rd class, so we don't have this much traffic and not 20 people in the Sporthalle at the same time. And yeah, we see from there how it is going and what other regulations are coming in place. But we actually got the feedback that some people really like the online classes, especially in the morning, because they said, hey, I don't have to get up and have an hour drive to Sporthalle and then go back again. So we are still thinking and figuring out how we can integrate maybe some online classes as well and more auto classes as well.
Yeah. You have to wear masks inside?
For now, yes. There's something new coming up. I didn't read the information yet exactly. So what I usually do is when I go indoors, no matter what place, I put a mask on. Because at Sporthalle, the entrance is not too wide, so it's like, I think 1 meter or 1.5 meters. So I just put a mask on in case somebody is going out, that I have a mask on. And once you're in the larger space, you can take it off actually. The main thing is, I think, keeping the distance. And in supermarkets, for example, you have to wear the masks all the time right now. With this new regulation, I'm not 100% sure. And people who are training, I think they don't have to wear a mask with the trainers. It depends. I mean, if you can keep the distance, for example, outdoors, we don't wear masks, and I don't tactile correct them, so I just verbally correct them or give cues most of the time. So to really keep the distance, actually.
So everything that is body weight carry, shoulder carry, and this, for now, it's out of the equation, right?
Yeah, carrying is really, really tricky. I mean, at home, I got really good at telling people get some water bottles or whatever and put them in a bag. Because if you have like 10 water bottles, it's 10 kilo already. So you can do something with that. Especially if you do single leg stands or step overs with 10 kilo, it's already quite nice. Yeah, physical interactions, it's a bit tricky because we have some people who are living together, and in theory they could do something, Or what I also have, I have a client who has a 5-year-old son, I think 4 or 5-year-old son. And sometimes he's really motivated to join. And then I say, okay, when we do some carrying things, I said, okay, just grab, if he's up for it, just grab him. And she did already crawling with him and stepping overs and whatever. And he was like just hanging on to her. And it was really nice to watch, really fun to watch. And I think it's also improving the interaction, because then it's not like she's training and he's watching or he's playing around, but it's nice to integrate when they're around. Some people also grab the pets. I mean, some cats are good to go, or some dogs, but you can't rely on that too much.
Yeah, you should film those sessions. That would be nice to see on social media.
Yeah,
we have a question that is related to one that I have in mind anyway, because it's more a business question. Did you reduce your price for these classes, the online classes? I mean, from a question from Wendy.
Yeah, hi Wendy, if it's Wendy from London. Yeah, we didn't actually do it because we have these memberships at Sporthalle Vienna. So mainly we're built on memberships, so they have monthly membership. And it was more like keeping, as we really worked on providing a program which can keep the people moving and really follows our standards. We said, okay, we keep the price and we hope people are paying it because they feel like they're really well looked after, actually. And yeah, some people, I think we have an option to take a break, like you can break for a month, for example, or something. And I think some people use that, but our normal rates just went through, but we didn't got any new clients or anything because it was hard to integrate that. We had some people who, like the spouse of somebody watching the partner doing workout, and I was like, hey, maybe I want to join something. So there was some interest there, and also they were able to see, okay, hey, this maybe not too bad, maybe I should do it as well. For them, we had like an extra online ticket. So for people who only just started with our online classes and have never been to Sporthalle, it was like a drop-in ticket. But since it was really like reacting week after week, and we were hoping to open up again soon, so we just kept going with this and focused on providing sufficient classes to keep people happy and keep people moving. And also did some, as I mentioned, Song and Julia, they provided lots of online live videos as well. I think twice a day for a couple of weeks. So we had, I think, 5 hours classes every day again. So it was really like almost up to our normal class load, actually.
So none of your clients were complaining about why the price is not reduced or anything? It was okay?
Nah, I mean, some for sure, because financially some were hit harder than others. So people who just were sent into home office, I think they didn't care too much, because it was like, for them it was like just okay working at home, but they didn't have a financial
impact.
Yeah, and others who were financially who had a financial issue. I think some dropped out, but I don't know the exact numbers. Or some said, okay, I want to make a holiday break so I don't have to pay, and I just see how it's developing so I can restart again. But we have a really, really nice and strong client base, I think. So we have a really good relationship with our clients, and they really, you notice with most of them, they were really appreciating what we're doing. So they were also appreciating trying to support us, which is really great, I think. And I also noticed this with my private clients, because I also do some personal training on the side. And it's some people who were really like not into online coaching or not into online PT, because it was like, nah, that's weird. And some were like, hey, okay, give it a try once. And then it was like, hey, actually, it's not that bad. So they also started to notice it's better than doing nothing. And it's actually working much better than, it's just like, I don't know if it's Austrian thing, but if you have a camera in your private apartment, it's weird for some people to see, okay, to show, okay, this is my space. But if it's personal training, it's easier than with group classes. But with group classes, people are usually more used to interact with the people and going around. But I also had, like, for example, one personal training client who said, okay, I don't want the personal training because I don't have any equipment at home, I don't feel comfortable, but she joined actually group online training. So it was really a mixture, and people, I think, in general are really happy if you provide something, and they notice if you really take care and do your best to provide a good coaching and everything.
Great. Okay. Yeah. So the question I had related to this, it's more business. So, when we talked with them, that was an experiment. Now you have the experience of this mixture of online, outdoors, getting back on track. You told me that some people were like, hey, actually I got fitter because I could attend more sessions. The spouse or the partner next to the camera would join in. With all of this, would you consider that it will change your business scheme, the way you will now operate at Sporthalle, maybe to maintain online classes more than before, or you will just get back to before COVID-19?
No, we're actually thinking to implement more, so learn from this experience and also implement and keep on adapting, because now people are, like, sort of trained to online training as well. So people are familiar with Zoom, people are familiar, like, how an online class is, like, for example, with the communication, I always communicate, like, good, bad, because then I don't have to talk and I can see it. And people are used to that, so it's I think easier to also take it into the future or keep on doing it. Also, it would be a nice possibility for, if you have members who are go on holiday, for example, that they can still attend some classes online. And also, I mean, for us, it's not that a topic, but for others, I think it's much of a topic, that it's more international. So you don't have to be in Vienna to do the online class. You can have an online class anywhere. For example, she asked me to guest coach one of his classes, and it was really fun to, okay, now I'm coaching people mainly in USA. So it's really fun, actually, and it's more international. You can come together more. As I said, in Sporthalle, we don't have this topic so much, but we're also thinking about it. I don't know how we develop in the future, but it would be also an idea to set up regular online coaching where you can actually also attend if you're not at Sporthalle or not in Vienna, not able to train at Sporthalle, actually.
Yeah, so it involves doing it in English, because I guess most of your classes are in German.
Yeah, they are usually. I'm always really, really happy if I have one person who is like, my German is not so good. Then I ask if the class minds some English, and usually people say no. And I say, yes, I can teach one in English again. As I'm always really happy, because I had, like, English as a working language for 5 years in the lab. So I was used to talking English the whole day. And then I skipped talking English, and I was like, oh no, I'm losing it. So I'm really happy doing it, actually. Yeah.
Cool.
But it's the regular language is German, as some of the, we have age-wise, we're really, really mixed. We have, I think our youngest are 14 and our oldest are 17 or even older. Yeah, so it always depends on who is there.
You gave me a great connection with my next question, because you told me that you like speaking English. How about your new experience being a MNOC coach, MovNat online coaching, because it's in English, the software is in English, every technique is in English, but I don't know how many students you have. Maybe they are German speaking people, but tell us about this new experience to be a MNOC coach.
Yeah, I'm really happy that I did this as well. And again, it was adaptation. So it was again a different system. Within a couple of weeks, I started with online coaching and with MovNat online coaching. And as I said, English is not like reading, writing. I'm fine with that. I have 2 clients so far. One is in East Coast, one is in Asia. So it's like 5 hours in this direction, 6 hours in this direction time-wise. And it's really great. It's really great. I really like it. It's again something. It's different again because you don't have this immediate feedback, as you don't see the people while they're doing it. But it's really great to see because I've done for a couple of weeks now, and it's like you notice people say, okay, there's already a switch in the mindset, and I'm always really like, mindset is a huge topic for me because it's really one of the core things actually you also do, or you're also working on while training, because with the right mindset you can do lots of things, and building up a correct right mindset is also really important. And it's really nice. And also yesterday I had because once a month you have a call with them, as you know, and yesterday I had a call with one, and she was really like, I so love this MovNat snacks. And she also said because snacks for her, it's nourishing her body, so nourishing the food, and snacks nourishing her body. And this made such a difference in her mind, because it was like, okay, being kind to your own body instead of you have to do it, or it's like, so, and this is really, really great experience. And I also really like it when you notice you can, you support people and people improve, and they say, okay, I already feel more capable, I feel more self-confident, I feel stronger, and this is a really great experience as well.
Awesome. Yeah. This MNOC platform is growing, and we are glad to have you, as an addition. We have a couple of addition coaches because we have more and more people signing up for this, especially during COVID. The software is, I think, very well done, and we have a full library of videos. Every time you type a technique name, then you will have the video next to it, so people can really see. You can send your videos as well to them. So yeah, it's a good one, and happy that you already have a good experience with a few students. Cool. My next question is about those special events. So you were mentioning 50 plus and women only. Can you tell us how it went? Because have you attended 50 plus last year? No?
No, not yet. So I think 50 plus would be the first time in Vienna in July with them.
And so you will be responsible for women only, and how excited are you, and how would you see this MovNat program being taught, to women for this specific course? Because at the end of the day, it's still a certification, so it shouldn't go so far away from everything. But tell us, what is your take on doing women only?
Again, I'm coming back to mindset, because it's like actually it's, so I'm also fond of really saying, okay, I think a woman needs a different or women need a different version or different schedule or anything, but it's more like having these specific groups, because I think in each group there is a tendency towards a certain mindset. And with mindset, I thought about this quite a lot the last days as well. There's a certain tendency when people starting moving that there's a certain misconception in their mindset concerning their movement capability. So some people have a tendency to, like, they come into a gym for the first time, they didn't move for several years, and then they see for example, to a strength class, and they see a smaller person, lighter person lifting 80 kilograms deadlift. And they think, okay, small, short person, I should be able to lift the same. So they just pack it out and aim to do it. And this is actually probably health problematic. So this is one mindset where people don't know actually, okay, this person might already have trained for 10 years, 5 years. So they're much more advanced, but they just see comparison physiology, like, okay, it's shorter, smaller, lighter, I should be capable of the same, actually. And then there's this other tendency that people come in and they see people doing, I don't know, a power up, and think I would never ever be able to do that, and I'll never be able to get up there, and they become easily discouraged. And so what I'm working on in my classes, because usually my classes are mixed classes, and different ages and whatever, I also have an emphasis on the right, on a good mindset. So basically, you train for yourself. You want to self-empower. You want to become a more capable human body. And it really doesn't matter so much what other people doing in these classes, because we always offer progressions, regressions. So we emphasize on people pick your version of this technique, which is really challenging for you, but which you can still do. And with this progression, regression, when you pick your skill, then you advance, and then you progress, and then you build up strength in a healthy way. But in order to get that, people take some time. So usually people who come into a class and haven't a strong movement background, they are not in this mindset yet, and it takes some time to get them there. Also with kids, for example, I coach kids parkour and judo and whatever. With kids, you also have to apply a different mindset, or to encourage a different mindset. For example, explaining kids why their bones are aching and why they shouldn't jump when their bones are aching, for example, because they're growing. Just explaining that to them, or that smaller kids, when they're tired, they just sit down. And if you don't know that, it's just like they take a rest, and 2 minutes later they will jump up and run again. But if you don't know that, then you might feel like they're not motivated or whatever, and push them. But once you know that, you can apply this mindset and say, okay, whenever you're tired, just sit down and just come back whenever you feel like it. So it's a different approach. Same with 50 plus. I think it's also like a different way of addressing how to build up. And this building up is actually, I think, the main issue as well with women-only events. That in our society there is like, it's a tricky topic. I don't want to sit into step into a puddle or whatever. There's a German saying. In English, I don't think it makes sense. But in our society, I think, for example, all these climbing techniques like pull up, muscle up, it's not something which is really supported, or which is really asked from girls to do or from women to do. So they have less build up during the earlier years. And I think therefore it's harder, or less women can do a pull up, for example. It's not because they're not capable of building up the strength, but it's just they didn't build up the strength in the teens, and therefore it's really hard for them as a grown-up, because they have to start from here, while a lot of guys, in gym classes, for example, they might be like, hey, come on, you were cheeky, do 3 pull-ups or whatever, give me 5 or 10 push-ups or whatever. And I think like in the girls' classes, not so much. And therefore, the guys start already here with the strength and with their coordination concerning climbing techniques or pull-up techniques. And I think this is also something, again, mindset, which might be important to explain, because I think some women might have the tendency to feel disencouraged when they see like the guys doing whatever. And it's like, okay, I can even pull myself up to a bar, but it's completely normal, it's completely understandable, and it's possible for them to build up the strength, but you have to explain it to them somehow. And I also noticed this in Sporthalle, for example, when we have, so in mobility classes, there are coming lots of different people, and some people, they start with mobility classes because they think they're easy. And it's not requiring so much strength and whatever. And the more people come here, and the more they notice that we really aim to explain and to precede them and to coach them through the movement life, more and more people, or especially women, were coming up to me and asking, Kathi, I would be interested in joining a movement class or a strength class, but I'm not sure if I'm capable of doing it or if I'm right there. And I'm always like, thank you that you came to me and asked, because then I can explain it. And then I was explaining them, it's completely, you can join the class, it's the right thing for you, because as I said, we offer in every class a progression, regression of each technique, and everybody works basically on the level they currently are. So it's not like you have to have a certain level in order to attend a movement class or to attend a strength class, but you can just come as you are and we will go from there. And this is really the great thing, and this is the mindset. And I think when you have only like mixed classes, some might feel discouraged to go there in the beginning. And if you offer like women only, this is the reason why I said, okay, I want to offer them women only certifications and women only classes as well. To basically empower them and to encourage them. So it's like, you can go there. I mean, you might take some more time to build up the strength and to get there, because you're lacking, you didn't do it the last 10 years and other people might have, but you can go there. And this is, so it's actually working on the mindset and explaining to people and having the possibility to explain, because if they don't come to you and if you don't ask you, you can't explain it. Yeah.
That's a great message, and I think that's very useful. We are glad to have you in the team for that, because you're not the tallest person in the world, but when we see you at the beginning, we're like, okay, this tiny lady, she will. Well, let's see what she will do, and then you start moving and you start showing for the people who attended and are attending now this show, or even the people watching later on YouTube. Check out the Kathi's level 3 course in Vienna. It's on YouTube on the MovNat channel, and you will see it was a sequence at the end of the level 3 certification where the whole group was behind you, and you had to climb, jump, roll, inverted crawl, do some power traverse, and finish by I think it was a rope climb up with arm only. So that was a powerful sequence, and I'm sure many ladies have been inspired already and will be inspired by you, when they will meet you live in those workshops. And it's totally fine to tell them that, of course, yeah, if you haven't trained for years, well, you can still do it. It's possible, and that's it. So yeah, we had this hot topic this week because we have shown also the accomplishments from Serena, who wrote this very nice article, and MovNat posted before-after photos, not because we wanted to show only the aesthetics, but that was a way for the intention of MovNat was what? To make you look at what she changed, like physically, but then you can dig into the article and read exactly what are the real benefits, how capable she is now. And actually the after photos show better posture, show the knees to be better aligned, and which could pass the eye test on knowing that she might move better because of a better posture. Okay, but what's your take on it? Because of course, I'm from a man side, even though I can understand women as well. But what is your take from a lady when you saw that and the comments? Tell us, what was your opinion?
So I have to say I didn't read through the comments yet because I had a busy week. But in general, this capability or the knowledge or the feeling how you change through movement and how you get more capable through, especially with movement as well, because movement only, if you go running 3 times a week and you keep on running and don't do anything else, your posture wouldn't improve necessarily. I mean, you might have a good feeling, you might do something for your heart rate and for your circulation, but it's not your overall physique which is changing actually. And also with my EMNO clients, they also notice already after a couple of weeks doing MovNat that changes something, as you said, on the posture. They notice it, they can sit on the ground a bit more, they can move around a bit better, they feel more mobile, they feel more strength, and especially like sitting on the ground requires some mobility and also some strength to hold your torso up, because if you lurch like this the whole day and sit like this the whole day, it's hard to really regain this good posture. And this is actually, I think, not only a women-only thing, it's actually throughout the genders, because also like I know several males who have like this typical PC laptop working.
I call it the T-Rex position.
Yeah, T-Rex position is a good one. And I think this is helpful for everybody. I think it's usually the tendency that women need to build up more of the strength, because lots of women have like they're actually really, really mobile, and usually there's a tendency that men are less mobile but have more general strength to start with. But regaining a better posture through strength and mobility, and this you can build up with movement, both of them. This is really great to see, and it's always I'm always smiling if I notice with people who I followed for a couple of weeks or months, how they change in their physique, how they change in their mind, how they change in like. I wasn't never thinking I would be capable to do that, and now I'm capable of doing it. And this is what actually drives me to see people empowering themselves and really noticing themselves what changes there are. Because I think once they notice themselves, they're more motivated to keep going. If they just see other people doing it and don't feel it themselves, it's really, really hard to keep going. But once you notice, okay, actually, I can sit on the floor right now, or I can pick up my child from the floor easier, or whatever you do, this is really a high motivation factor to actually keep going and doing it longer and keep on it.
Thank you, Kathi. I appreciate the answer. I put you on the spot here. I realize it. So, we already reached almost 1 hour, which means that the conversation went very well. But let's take a few questions. Do you have couple of more minutes?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, cool. So let's read the comments real quick. We have David who said, the medical training sounds very interesting. Do you mostly MovNat there or also physio exercises?
They do a mixture actually. With the medical training, we have an Eden cycle as well. So there are like this, I think there are 10 or something machines for strength build-up. Because if you do like with people who come out freshly out of physiotherapy, they might need some regulation with the movement to build up better strength than to do like whole body movement right away. But they always take them out, so like they do this for strength workout, but they quick get them out and do individualized exercises actually. And these are all, it's a mixture of MovNat, physiotherapy, not physiotherapy, practical exercise, because these are supposed to be done at physiotherapy, but like rehab exercises, sometimes more isolated joint exercises, and sometimes it's more functional movement or body movement, depending on where the people are at this point. So sometimes they might need a more specific build-up on one joint or on certain muscles, and sometimes it's really about coordination and get the whole body moving again and mobility, so that they really individually pick the exercises for them.
Cool. Okay, so you take them step by step. I get it. All right. Coach Julie, and Julie Beck, she will be actually one of our next guests. She says, sounds amazing. The facility plus having 3 level 3 trainers, it just became the top my wish list.
It's nice. Julie, you're welcome anytime. Just hook us up when you're around.
Cool. So we already answered Wendy's question. Bernardo, out of curiosity, what age is your main core of clients?
Yeah, you put me on the spot there as well.
It's a mix of everything, no?
Yeah, it's a mixture. I would say the main part of the cross training, or like who also do MovNat and strength and mobility and conditioning. They're between 25 and 45, I would say. But as I said, we have really, I think we have a 70-year-old, and we also had a couple of 14, now they're 16 or 18 already. So it's really a variety. But the main group is, I think, in their working stage of life currently. So it's like between 25 and 45, I would say.
Okay, cool. We have a question from Elizabeth. Oh, Elizabeth is from Brazil. She's also a certified trainer and also a physiotherapist. And she's telling you, congrats on your space. What was the most difficult part of this process when you decided to open your gym?
That would have been a great question for Song.
Yes.
Because I'm just a coach. Also, I'm a coach there. I'm coaching regularly there, but he was the boss of it. Or he's the boss and the main brain of the whole operation in Sporthalle. I think they struggled in the beginning, so they had the idea what they want to do. So they want to build up a space for grown-ups where they have a really health-supporting training possibility. And they looked around for different methods and switched around because what they first had another method in mind, and then they found MovNat. So this was, I think, a process where they had to go through, and then they were really, really happy once they found MovNat, because it was like, this is really what we want to do, and this really fits well with our goals and with our aim, what we want to build here. What the main thing is, I have to say, I'm over-asked, so I can ask Song and let you know in a Facebook group maybe.
Okay, yeah, no, that's good. I think you gave a good answer, which was choosing the right method to start with. From Wendy, so I am in Oxford and I have loved the Munich classes on Zoom and learned so much from Bernd, and he has enjoyed the chance to speak English. Do you do MNOC on Zoom? Can I ask how much do you charge per hour for this? Maybe this is too personal. Yeah, I will answer just that. So Wendy, you can go on MovNat.com, look for MovNat online coaching, and you will have the details. You can send an email. I think there is a generic email address that you can answer. You will see the prices. And no, it's not on Zoom. It's on a software called True Coach. So we give you login, password, and you have access to your space inside True Coach. And everything could be done there. You have a messenger capability. You can send videos, photos, and so on. So no, it's not on Zoom. Cool.
But I think you can ask for a certain coach if you want one. So I mean, Bernd is also MNOC, or so when in case you have a certain coach you want to pick, you can also, I think, ask for the coach. Exactly,
that's a good point. In the questionnaire that people fill up at the beginning, they can choose if they know a coach they like in the team. They can pick and choose the coach they want. All right. So Wendy said, Kathi moves amazingly. I remember in London.
Thank you. It's nice to say.
All right, Julie says, what a great explanation for women's only. I wasn't a fan of separating sexes, but you have helped me understand the mindset behind the idea. So thank you. As a veteran coach, I'm always super excited to learn something new.
That's actually one of my main issues, because I'm also not so fond of separating the genders, because usually my whole classes, they're mixed, so I have males, females, and even my personal training clients, I have about 50% female and about 50% male. So I think I'm capable of addressing both genders, and I'm also like to mix it up. But yeah, this is my reason behind it, because to actually empower people. And I also noticed this with Parkour, for example. I had this situation where there was a group of people who knew each other, and the guys were really, really good, and they had some female friends with them, and there was a mixed class. and the guys were jumping around, running around, and the girls were standing like there and watching. And I just went up to them and I asked them, "Hey, why aren't you training?" And they said, "Yeah, we don't feel comfortable because they're so much cooler than we are." And this really shocked me and made me think, okay, because then I started to talk to them and try to explain it to them, because it's actually about moving yourself and not caring so much about what the others do. But this needs a communication, and this needs the chance to address it. So this is really cool.
All right. Cool. Hey, the messages are piling up. So when I ask you a question, I will ask you to be concise, please. So Wendy again, do you think 45-year-old MCT level 1, me, can teach much younger clients effectively?
Short answer, I don't like generalization, but yes. If you put yourself in there and really get into knowing the baseline, and I remember you're really good. I thought you were really good in coaching as well. And I think if you understand the principles of coaching, you can apply them. And if you understand the principles of a technique, you can even explain it to somebody who is more agile or has much more strength than you are. So it's basically about practicing it and getting confident in it. And but I think it's possible.
Yeah, for sure. We have seen much younger people than us already struggling with strength, mobility, and so on. So once you get moving in MovNat, you can teach younger people for sure. Krista gave the details for signing up for coaching for the MovNat online coaching. Okay, so it's in the chat. And that's it. Great, thank you. Bernardo was also thanking you. He's leaving the chat. So we did 1 hour and 10 minutes, Kathi. That was great. It flew by. Thank you so much for all the explanation and answering the questions. I think people enjoyed it live, and more people will enjoy it because I will put it soon on YouTube and share it on the MCT group, but you can use this YouTube link anywhere you want, and it will be also archived on we have a special place on MovNat.com where all the MCT shows are archived. So that was a pleasure, Kathi. Any last message you want to give to the audience before we end up the show?
Yeah, I want to say thank you for tuning in, because for me it was really nice to see people attending live as well. And basically just keep moving, keep healthy, and believe in yourself, and work on this mindset and work on your skills. And I hope to see you soon again, or for the first time, whenever you have time. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
That's great. Dankeschön, Kathi. Thank you very much. And for all the participants, thank you also very much for joining, and see you next Friday. All right. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.